There are 1.7 billion Muslims in the world. That accounts for about 22% of the world's population. 70% of them are under 35. About $151 billion is spent by the world's Muslim travelers. 36% of that is spent by people from just 6 countries: Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates, Kuwait, Qatar, Oman, and Bahrain. So that's about $50 billion that's being spent by just people from 6 countries. So how does one reach the people there? And who are the people there who travel? That's what I'm going to be talking about today. There are about 117 million people who are Muslim travelers from all over the world. And they go to many different destinations. What takes them there? What is it that attracts a person to travel to a particular destination? Is the Muslim traveler different? Does he need something in addition to what any other traveler would need? These are, again, some of the things that you will learn over the course of the next 20 to 25 minutes. The Muslim travel market is bigger than the Chinese travel market. If you take away the numbers of people who are traveling from China to Macau and Hong Kong, we are considerably bigger. If you take away the amount being spent by them, the Muslim travel market is going to be spending even more. It's projected to be worth $250 billion in the next 4 years. But what are the needs of the Muslim traveler? How is the Muslim traveler different? There are 3 basic criteria that you need to look at. 1, the dietary needs. One of the biggest challenges that a Muslim traveler feels when he's traveling somewhere is, where will he eat? He could be staying in a 5-star hotel, but he could be starving because he doesn't know where to get halal food. So if you're a hotelier, if you're a tourism board, if you want to promote Muslim travelers, the fundamental thing that you have to look at is halal food. Another requirement, prayer facilities. We say our prayers 5 times a day. This is a picture at Frankfurt Airport. Frankfurt Airport has made it possible for a Muslim traveler to come and say his prayers. That is facilitating Muslim travelers. There's another need. We wash ourselves in the toilet. Not many people want to talk about it, but that's a very crucial requirement. If in a hotel, you can provide that facility. Again, I've got a picture showing that little container watering can from Frankfurt Airport. They're providing that facility. It's crude. It's not the Grohe German thing that we have in rooms, in bathrooms everywhere in the Muslim country. And again, the German company Grohe provides with that washing solution. There is no reason why it cannot be adapted in more hotels that want to attract the Muslim traveler. Very basic, very simple to implement, and if you are a hotel and all you need to do is just mention in your advertising that you have a Muslim-friendly toilet, you will have more people coming to your hotel than your next-door neighbor, just because of this one facility. And it doesn't cost you much at all. But what I'm talking about today is about the millennial traveler. Everyone talks about the millennial traveler. People of my age are no longer important. people who are between the ages of 18 and 34 are the ones who will dominate. But can you paint them with just one brush? Can you have sweeping generalizations to say that a millennial traveler is the same? It's not true. The age bracket from 18 to 34 includes people who are married and who are not married. It includes men and women. And among the Muslim traveler community, there is a very significant difference between targeting the male millennial versus the female millennial and the family traveler. They have different requirements, and different marketing messages will appeal to them in a different way. The male traveler is interested in adventure. He's interested in entertainment. He's interested in nature. And he's interested in having a fun time and being entertained. So what does he do? If you promote zip lining, if you promote bungee jumping, that's what the male traveler will want to do. If you promote bungee jumping to a female traveler from the Middle East, you won't get many takers. So there is a difference. So you have to target your message accordingly. Segway in Budapest, that's what the male traveler will want to do. He wants adventure. He wants to be on his own, and he wants to experience things the way he wants to. Ideally, the male traveler is not going to go on a bus tour of the city. That's how he wants to go. He wants more freedom, and that is how you target him. Exploring nature, that's very important to him. In Germany, you have greenery, you have mountains, you have different weather, and that is something that appeals to the Middle East traveler. But that appeal is there in terms of beaches everywhere where a city has a beach. That's again something that appeals to people. But how do you really get the person to come there? If you want a family to come and enjoy nature, then they will be willing to come, but you'll have to provide more facilities. For the male traveler, nature in its own is enough. That will attract him. And you have to provide for his food. This is halal wagyu beef in Sydney. Very expensive, but it's halal. And that's what will attract the person. So these are some very basic things that will bring a Muslim male traveler to you. You don't have to do too much to please him. If you have nature in your country, if you have halal food in your country, that can attract him. What about the female? The female traveler who is single has a totally different set of rules. They want to go to a place which is safe. They can go on their own. There could be a group of 4 or 5 female travelers who will go and explore a destination. What do you want to provide to them? What do you want to give to them to attract them? That is, again, going to be a little different from what you do to attract the male traveler. They're interested in shopping. They're interested in culture. They're interested in fine dining. They will not go to a bar. They will not go to a disco because that's not part of their culture. So you have to adapt to their cultural needs and offer them things which attract them. Here's an example of something that they want to do. They want to go shopping, and they love buying designer stuff. I know. I've got a wife and 4 daughters, and 3 daughters. It feels like I've got 4 daughters. So they love shopping. So it's very important to promote all the shopping facilities that you have. Retail therapy, again, is extremely important for them. Another thing that attracts them is like, unlike the male shopper, they love to go around on a bus tour. They like to be taken around in a guide. And this is something that I observed in London, where they have a bus tour which has afternoon tea in it. And what have they done to attract the Muslim traveler? They provide halal food. It's not very difficult. Tea generally doesn't involve meat, and meat is the area where halal and non-halal dominates. But what they have done is, if you pre-order and if you tell them in advance when you're buying the ticket that you will get that you want halal food, then they'll prepare halal food for you. That's going to be served while you go on a bus tour of London. Just like any other bus tour, but they're catering to the needs of the Muslim traveler. Outlet mall in the US. Discount pricing, designer names, bargains, anything like that is what they want. There are many shopping outlets here, outlet malls in Europe, that can attract them. They need to be promoted. Culture is another very important aspect. When they go to a destination, they want to know more about it. This is about cooking classes in Vietnam. Female travelers would love to go and learn how to cook in that country. That's something which brings in more users. So whatever you're doing, if you can provide some cultural activity, not necessarily food, it could also be something as different as going to a monastery and showing how the monk makes lotus flowers out of paper. Cultural, different, but very attractive to the Muslim female audience. Try showing this to a male audience from the Middle East. He'll run away. He will not want to attend these things because that's not what he wants to do. So again, you have to position yourself by attracting the right kind of audience. You have to give the right message to people. And how do you reach the married with children community? Again, millennials who are generally between 25 and 34, some of them are married, some have children with them. You must provide facilities that cater to their needs. The adventure of bungee jumping or going on a Segway is not what they can do because they have children with them. They may have a stroller with them. They can't climb hills easily. So what is it that you will offer them? A beach is important, but what's most important and what attracts them more than anything else is a theme park, entertainment. It could be Universal Studios, it could be something like Legoland, anything, or Disneyland, anything that attracts children is what will attract the married with children community. So it's very important to, again, target this segment by talking about what they want. The millennial is not a generic community. It's not one set of people whom you can target with just one message. You have to focus, you have to reach out to people in different ways and cater to their own specific needs. A culture trip to Cordoba. Spain is trying, or especially Andalusia, is trying to attract Muslims from all over the world. Why? Because of its Islamic history. Spain used to be the capital of Muslim Europe, and there are a lot of places like the Alhambra that attract travelers there. But you have to really promote that culture, and that is what will attract people in. Apple picking, again, a family-oriented activity. You could have strawberry picking, you could have any other activity which is similar, which involves the family, which does not involve too much hard action because you will have people with children with them. They may have, strollers. So that is something which will attract people. Buying halal food. Again, it's very important that halal food is made available to across the board to all Muslim travelers. So these are some of the very basic requirements of Muslims when they travel. It's not difficult to appease to their needs. All you need to do, like I said, just three things. Provide them with halal food, provide them with a prayer facility, and give them a Muslim-friendly toilet. That's all that you need to do to promote a Muslim-friendly country or a Muslim-friendly city or a Muslim-friendly hotel. So where do the GCC travelers want to go? Where do these people who spend $57 billion, what attracts them? What is it that is currently making them want to go there? Luxury, yes. Designer outlets, shopping, that's what attracts a number of them. Proximity is important. If you're talking to people from the GCC and you have a hotel and you run a hotel which is within the Middle East, that's the first place they want to go. They want to go someplace which is close by. For females, you need to promote the fact that you are a safe destination. When they're traveling in a group of 3 or 4 females, they would like to be they would like to feel that they're in a safe place. That's a very, very important factor in making a decision. So when females from the Middle East are traveling, they would go to Istanbul. Not these days because of the political problems there, but they do feel a little safe in Istanbul. They feel safe in Malaysia. They feel safe in a city like London because there's a lot of familiarity with it. So you've got to have safety being promoted as the key factor to attract females traveling alone. Families, again, family-friendly destinations. Halal facilities are a deal clincher. If you can provide halal food, then people will definitely want to stay with you as a hotel, or they want to go and stay in your destination. I was in Seoul recently, and I was amazed to see that there are more than a dozen halal restaurants in the center of the city. In the most happening of places, where you have nightclubs and discos, there are about a dozen halal restaurants. I wasn't aware of that. And I think many people are not aware of the fact that Seoul does have a lot of halal facilities. So it's important to convey that message. It's important to tell the world or tell the Muslim countries or people there that you do have such facilities. Currently, Germany has a lot of Turkish expats. So at every street corner, you'll find some donor shop who is probably provides halal food. In New York, if you're near the MoMA, Museum of Modern Art, just walk around the street corner, you'll find the halal cart guys. So there is that facility available, but it's important to communicate and tell people about that. So what are the top 25, among the top 25 cities that travelers on our website, Irhal, wanted to go? Included 3 cities from the United States. This was last year. But what's happened now? Unfortunately, because of the Trump effect, Muslim travelers are fearful of the travel ban. They don't want to go to a country which makes them feel unwelcome. So they're talking through their wallets. They're saying that they will not be going to these countries. We have surveyed 100,000 visitors to our travel website, primarily Arabs, and during the last 1 month, they have overwhelmingly said no to travel to the United States. That's a very significant impact. $185 million is what the WTO said last week has already been impacted by a decrease in travel to the United States. What is Mr. Trump doing to attract Muslim travelers? He's speaking about the travel ban, but he's a businessman at heart. Just before the elections, just a week before the elections, he inaugurated the Trump Hotel in Washington, D.C. And guess what was there in every room? Along with the Gideon Bible, which is staple, there was a little note saying that you can get a copy of the Quran there at the Trump Hotel in Washington, D.C. So he is encouraging the visit of Muslims to the United States, or at least he did before he got elected. 7 days before he got elected, this is something that was there in his hotels. According to the U.S. International Trade Statistics, or U.S. Department of Commerce, Muslim travelers, or travelers from the Middle East in 2015 spent on an average $6,600 when they went to the United States. That is 84% more than what European travelers spent. Travelers from the GCC countries spend on an average $9,920 on a 5-day trip abroad. That's the kind of money that the people from the Middle East spend when they're traveling. So the Muslim travel ban will have an impact. Like I mentioned, US cities are no longer being looked for. People are not searching for going on vacation to a US city. So what are the alternatives? Where do they want to go? In Europe, Athens is a favorite destination. Again, distance is important. So people from the Middle East, Athens is very close by, so they would like to go there. Rome, Copenhagen, Barcelona, Amsterdam, they're all important. Unfortunately, German cities have not featured among the top 25. This is from our own website, which has 1.5 million visitors from the Middle East. What is coming up more and more are countries from Eastern Europe. Georgia, that's featured very heavily. Tbilisi. We have other things which impact on the need for a traveler, like Game of Thrones. That's encouraging people to go to Dubrovnik because it's featured there. Within the non-European cities, Nairobi, Kenya is becoming a favorite destination. Seoul is also coming up on search results on our site, much more than it had earlier. And during the last 1 month, Casablanca has also come up. It wasn't featured earlier, but it's the diversion from the US to other markets which is happening. And this is the time when European cities or tourism boards can help direct traffic to them, because people who were thinking of going to the US on holiday are now rethinking their travel plans. This is the time to promote yourself in a different way. So how do you reach the Muslim Middle Eastern traveler? One of the biggest challenges is that there's not enough Arabic travel content. We have our own, this is a plug for our own travel site, Irfan. We are one of the only ones that provides a lot of Arabic travel content. We have about 90 different city guides, and people come to us primarily because of our content. So it's important to promote yourself in Arabic. if you want to reach the Middle Eastern traveler. But where do the millennial travelers go? All the same sites which anyone else, anywhere else in the world would be going to. You have Facebook, you've got Snapchat, you've got Twitter, YouTube, Instagram. They're all important. But make sure that part of your message is in Arabic, because there is a lack of Arabic content. If you provide Arabic content in your Facebook feeds, if your Instagram promotion has some Arabic in it, that will attract people to you. So it's important to reach out to people through the traditional means, but also search for Arabic sites. It could even be a site like Al Jazeera, which has news, but attracts more of the older, family-oriented traveler. Visa issues are also significant. Unfortunately, an individual hotel or a tourism board cannot impact this directly. But when countries have made the effort, there has been a significant change. Tbilisi in Georgia is one prime example. I think it was 2 years ago that they announced that they would become visa-free for not just the GCC traveler, but also the locals of those countries, but also residents of the UAE. If you have a visa to live in the United Arab Emirates, it doesn't matter where you're from, as long as you have that, they made it visa-free entry. That's helping to promote tourism. And that's where a lot of Middle Eastern tourists are heading now. Georgia and Azerbaijan have also now taken on that role, that they have also made it visa-free. So if you just want to travel somewhere for the weekend, it's now possible to do that. If you want to travel to the US or to Europe, a lot of countries, the nationals there require a visa. So it cannot be a spontaneous decision to travel. So you have to really make the effort, get a visa, and then really decide on traveling. So the more easy it is for someone to travel to a destination, the more likely it is that they will actually go there. And decisions now are no longer being made 4 or 5 months in advance. A lot of travel decisions are being made for traveling next week or next month. So the shorter duration also means that visas should become less of a burden. Thank you.